Okay, everybody, welcome to Leicester Live's podcast, Christmas special, in association with Nolita Coffee NYC. Quality New York coffee for your home, delivered directly to your home. Now, as I just said, this is the Christmas edition, and there is a reason why I have my guest in front of me today, because we've got Paul Liggins, better known as Liggo. Thanks for coming in today, Paul.
Yeah, you're welcome, Justin. Privileged to come in, mate. Yeah, nice to see you.
We're going to explain why we're getting you in for Christmas and why we're going to get this released before Christmas for people to watch. But let's roll it all the way back to the start. Tell us about growing up in Leicester.
Right, growing up in Leicester. Obviously lived in Leicester all my life, Justin, as you know. Born around Woodgate Way, around Balfour Street. Spent a couple of years around there. We moved around a lot in Leicester when we were kids. I think my mum's from like a Romany gypsy background, so I think that might have something to do with it. But my dad were into a bit of property developing and everything, so we started off on Balfour Street, then we moved to Nook Street, which newfound Paul, and spent a few years around there. And then my dad put the house up for sale, decided to want to move again. He'd done it up, and he sold the house, and then all of a sudden we got nowhere to move into. As an emergency, my dad had another house up Cavendish Road, Ayleston Road, up near the SAF. So we had to move into this half derelict house for a couple of years. So we moved up there and we stayed there a couple of years, and that's how I know lads like Simon Cartwright and people like that. And I got to know a few lads up there, and then after 2 years, he'd done the house up and we decided to move back to like Blackbird Road way, that sort of town. So we went Beaumont Leys School. So when we were up Cavendish Road, we didn't even know we were moving till about a couple of weeks before. It was one of them. This was just my life. We just moved around all the time, just at the drop of an hat, like I say. And I even went to the school up there, Lancaster Boys School, for that open day, when you're moving up to senior school. Went up with all the lads and ready for my new school, and then a couple of days before we were supposed to go to Lancaster Boys, we said we're moving house, so I went up to Beaumont Leys. But luckily I knew a load of lads up there that went Inglehurst School, because it's that end of town. So I went Beaumont Leys School, and it was just a great school, to be honest with you. It was a nice place to end up, and I'd done my whole of my senior schools there, made many good friends. And Blackbird Road were a nice area to live as well. We were like fairly middle class, but because we went to an estate school sort of thing, we sort of we were down to earth. Do you know what I mean? We were obviously Beaumont Leys School, and then left from there. So
How would you compare Blackbird Road then to Blackbird Road now?
I'll be honest with you, Blackbird Road is weird now because when we first started drinking and that, we used to go in the Blackbird pub a little bit, but Blackbird pub's turned into like a food pub now, sort of thing. So I've got no reason to go in there really. But so it's just it's a thoroughfare, isn't it, Blackbird Road? So you just drive down it. But I don't see a lot of difference really in Blackbird Road. What I do see a difference is like at the end of it, at Woodgate. That's changed, and because even though I lived on Blackbird Road. I was born on Woodgate, and Woodgate were a big part of my life. So, I spent a lot of time down there. The local Chinese were down there. Best fish and chip shop in the world were down there, which is sadly just gone this year. But Woodgate now, it's looking a bit grubby, to be honest with you. And the traffic down there is horrendous. All the roadworks, there's businesses shut. But I still got a great affection for the area. Do you know what I mean?
Thinking of Woodgate, I was walking down there the other day, and without jumping around too much, you got the Northbridge Tavern, which we knew well from back in the day. Yeah. Foresters.
Yeah, great road of pubs.
And they're just all gone. In fact, the Northbridge is just derelict, isn't it? It's a travesty.
Yeah, well, the old lot is either derelict or it's been knocked down and redeveloped. When I first started drinking, obviously we were 16 when we first started drinking. I know we were underage, but we all did it, and we all looked a bit older, didn't we? And if we weren't going in town, or sometimes on the way into town, we did a thing. We had a thing called the Great North Run. It started off. We used to start off in the Blackbird, quick one in there, then we hit Woodgate. So I can even name the pubs. Used to have like the Robin Hood, Friar Tuck. They're opposite each other. Then you had one just off Woodgate called the Cricketers. You come out of there, you turn left, you had the Foresters Arms, the Northbridge Tavern, and then you come to the end, you turn left, and you got the Sandvigate Tavern and the Joiners Arms. And it were a great pub. I mean, you're half pissed by the time you got to the end of it. You know what I mean? But so when talking like I was about moving house earlier on, when I was 16. We lived on Devonshire Road, Blackbird Road, and my dad were a painter all his life, and you know, to be fair, my dad were a 7-night-a-week pub man, very you know, very big social life, you know what I mean, very social person, like well-known bloke in Leicester. Couldn't ask for a better dad. We never went without anything, you know what I mean. We had everything. I would like to a bit more of his time, but if the pub was open, he were in it. But he weren't a pisshead, you know what I mean. He was just a social boozer, like you know. So in them days you had pub hours, didn't you? So it was like 12 till 3, and then the pub was shut and then open again at 5 till 11 or whatever.
11 o'clock, yeah.
You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, he weren't in there 5 till 11, but he'd be out every night at 7 o'clock. He'd have his dinner and have a shower and go out. And so my dad were a big drinker down Woodgate, around that area. And so anyway, a couple of years before, my dad was working in London, and he was working on this shop, he was painting it like, and next door there was a music shop, and he just outside painted the windows and got chatting to this music bloke, and you know, my dad was singing away, and this bloke says to him, why don't you nip in here and have a look at these, like, if you like a bit of a sing-song. So he took him in there, and they had these machines. He said they're called karaoke machines. Like, this is like 1986, so you'd never heard of karaoke then. So he's dragged him in there and had a look, and he's shown him these machines. And in them days, there weren't even a screen. You had to read the words off a book, like, you know what I mean? They're on a tape, and these machines are like a built-in amp with 2 tape recorders and a couple of mics with them. So the bloke said, look, he says, they're going for 500 quid. He said, if you want to sell a few for me in Leicester, if you can, he said, I'll give you some commission. So he says, if you want to take one away with you, I'll, you know, give you your name and address and everything, take it away and use it as a sample and see what you can sell. So my dad's took it away, and I think instead of selling them, he's looked at it, he's gone in his bedroom, switched it on, got the mic on. He's always liked a bit of an old bee's wing, my dad, anyway, like, you know what I mean? So he's got the mic on, and he's crooning away in the bedroom, and I think he's a bit of a light bulb's appeared over his head, and he's gone, do you know what, I reckon I can make some money off this. And he's heard, obviously, in London, there's these karaoke nights and stuff like that. So because he were a regular down all them pubs I've just mentioned in Woodgate, he got his first gig on a Sunday night in the Robin Hood, and they paid him 30 quid. And it went down a storm, and that really, they booked him next week. But by the end of the next 3 months, every pub in Woodgate, all the ones I've mentioned, they'd all booked him. So anyway, he's like I say, back to Blackbird Road. We're living there. I just left school, and you know, just started work, and all of a sudden my dad said, we're moving house again. Oh, what's that? And he says, I've bought a pub. So he bought the Sandvigate Tavern. So, I say bought it, become a tenant there. Just decided to hang his brushes up and work as a landlord in the Sandvigate Tavern. So we've moved. Next thing, I've moved into a pub. So I'm 16 years old, sort of like, you know, rubbing my hands together a little bit. Quite an exciting time, do you know what I mean? So, and the fact that it was literally 2 minutes walk from town, you know what I mean? So you sort of, like, I was going out then, you know what I mean? Just stumbled back into the pub, and obviously got the karaoke going and that, and you know, and then next thing you know, I borrowed the old karaoke machine in my bedroom. I'm on a bit of a practice. Decided I can sing a little bit. So, and he said, look, why don't you come in with me? So, you know, I'm working in the day, but I went in with my dad. He showed me the ropes, and I become like a karaoke host. Like, and, you know, we were earning good money. You know, in the next couple of years, we ended up buying all the laser equipment and all the, you know, with the screens and all the words on the screen, and we were charging 100 quid a night in like 1991, do you know what I mean?
I was going to say, which year is this?
Yeah.
Sort of early 90s.
89 when we moved in the pub, but I think 91, I remember he forked out $8,000, and he bought all the laser kit. I mean, it was mad, really. You look at CDs now, like, and you know, like these laser discs, like they were unheard of then, and they were the size of an LP, and they were 100 quid each. These discs, the equipment were expensive, and you only used to get 28 songs on there. And the thing is, say someone wanted to sing a song, they kept asking for it, and you didn't have it, you obviously got to go out and buy that for the next gig. You know what I mean? And then you buy it just for that song, and it's probably only got 8 or 9 on it. You know what I mean? So it was an expensive game. So, you know, my dad invested in the kit, and so I started going out and doing it for him. We just went 50-50. I did the work, and he fronted the kit. So yeah, that was good fun. In the 90s, I did it for about 5 or 6 years, and then obviously my life got busy in that. So we had a few years in the pub, and it was like a bit of a good coming of age thing. You know what I mean? All them what them pubs are like down there. They're all.
Did your dad make a success of the pub?
He did, yeah. I'll be honest with you, it's a sad thing, the Sandvigate, because the Sandvigate were one of the last good pubs on Woodgate, you know what I mean, before pubs started going down here. I think, people used to have a few beers and get in the car, didn't they, 3 or 4 beers. As long as it was, people were unaware in them days, you know what I mean? So that's what they did, and I think when the drink driving started clamping down a bit, people stopped going out so much. People were having a couple of pints and, being warned that we're going to get pulled in the morning if they'd had a drink and stuff like that. And so, yeah, drink driving got a bit, it had an effect on it, I think, as well. And then, I don't know what happened, really. I mean, a lot of them pubs, they just went downhill a little bit and started shutting. But my dad made a big success and he kept it going there. And if you speak to anyone, any of them old boys, the ones that are left, like, you know what I mean, they'll tell you George Liggins was the last good gaffer on there, you know what I mean, the good gaffer of them pubs. And so he wrapped it up in the end. It started getting, I think what it was, the breweries were getting a bit greedy as well, and so he wrapped it up. And I
was going to say, what made him stop then? Because he was there, what, 4 or 5 years, you say?
6 years altogether, 6 years. So it just like the breweries were making it, like, it were unachievable to make a decent wage. They were just greedy what they wanted off the tenants. So he decided he wanted out, and he ended up getting a franchise of these bars in. There's a dance school called Ann Oliver's, and ended up running the bars in there. He did that for a few years, and then that packed up, and he picked his paintbrushes up again for the last few years. You know what I mean? So. It's like I say, fun times growing up in there. I've seen some sites in that Sandvigate and some stories like. So
I was going to say, so a good childhood, basically.
Yeah, good, really good, mate. Yeah, like I say, like a very busy parents. Mum had 2 jobs. She was grafting. She's got 5 kids, got 3 brothers and a sister, like, and my dad. We were working away most of the time, and then when he were home, it were pub hours and that. But fair play to him. He used to come home every weekend. And he'd take us to Inglemouse to a caravan every weekend, and but even then, here in the pub, we'd play a bit of playtime in the morning. Then he'd shoot off. Funny story, really. When we were there, I mean, might be looked at child cruelty now, but we had a sense of humour in them days. So, what happened was, my mum said to me, we were there were me, my mum, my dad, my sister, and my uncle and auntie and their daughter, all in a 4-berth caravan. And my mum said to my dad, look, George, she says, just for one night, she says, have a drink at dinner then tonight. Can we just stay in? We can get a few drinks in the off licence and just let's all stay in together and have some fish and chips and play some games and that. And my dad's reluctantly rolled his eyes. Right, okay, we'll do it. She says, just nip to the Lingalonga, which was a chip shop, the Lingalonga, and get some fish and chips and we'll all just relax. And anyway, 7 o'clock's come or whatever, he's shot off to the Lingalonga. So Mum's spread all the bread and butter, and we've sat there with the knives and forks, can't wait for these fish and chips. And then 8 o'clock's come, 9 o'clock, 9:30, we've had the bread and butter, and it's bedtime for us. It's obviously what's happened, isn't it? And next thing you know, you've heard the door go in, they've come in, and my mum's just gone mad at him, just completely lost the shit at him, and while she's screaming, and he said, you were supposed to go to the Lingalonga, and he just looked at her with all cock eyes and says, well, we lingered a bit longer. Even she had to laugh, like, but we had the bread and butter, we weren't starving anyway. I'm quite a chubby kid, so it weren't that cool, you know what I mean?
So what were you doing for work at this time, Paul, when you left school anyway?
Yeah, so career-wise, I've had a few really. So I was straight into the building trade, straight as a plasterer's labourer. Hard work that was, to be honest with you, in them days. These days they've got these drills that have got the mixers on them, and them days it was just a stick, and it was hard. And did that for a year or so, and then I always remember like someone were prattling about in the pub one night and pulled the chair away. The old trick where you fall down, and I done my back, and anyway, my back was never not the same for a bit, so I thought I can't really do this job. I mean, so anyway, my brother was a roofer, and he got me involved in the roofing. So did that for a few years, and then about 20 years old, the building trade had a bit of a dip and they were struggling for work and that. I got this job on this agency, went to see this agency for some work, and they put me into this place in Wigston that made fridges. You know, when you buy a beer from behind the bar, like them sort of fridges, and you buy a beer, drink in the shop. And so I went there, and they took me on after 2 weeks permanent, and I worked my way up to management, did an MVQ in supervising management, and I was there a good 5 years, and then I loved it. I'd have stayed for life, but they had a factory in Sheffield that they had some underutilised space, like, so they decided to move the factory up there, and they offered me a job up there, but I weren't moving from Leicester, so yeah, went back into the building trade, done a bit more roofing, a little bit of brickying, and then 1998, some good mates of mine, Marco Callan, Winks, Steph, all them lads that you know yourself, they all worked at a place called Qualvis in Thurmaston. They were printing and packaging. They made pretty much everything you buy in a supermarket in a box, they make it, and they says the money there is unreal, we can get you a job in there. So I'm thinking, do I want to go back in the factory? But I'll gear to go, you know what I mean? It's steady work. Anyway, I went there, and it was best 10 years of my life, mate. It was just mad. You could literally print your own wage slip, like, you know what I mean? I were paying in tax in them days more than a lot of my mates would come like earning in a week, you know what I mean? It was ridiculous. You could do 12-hour nights, 60% shift rate, and I had a good 10 years there. I don't know how they did it, but then after 10 years it just went bang. All of a sudden we went in one day and they said we've lost a couple of contracts. Everyone's on the basic hours, and you know, there were people there that had you know, had loans based on their overtime. I saw a bloke crying on the shop floor. He'd, you know, bought a 25 grand car on the knock and that, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden your wages gone to a quarter of what there was. So anyway, I saw the writing on the wall. I took voluntary redundancy. They'd give me 7 grand, and had 2 weeks off and got a job on the books for Thomas Cassidy and Sons Roofing. Like, Tom Cassidy's an old mate of mine, drank me in for years, and got a job on the books with them, just doing roof repairs really. So did that for the next 7 years, and anyway, after 7 years, I went out on a job one day, and I got a young lad with me, and he'd left an ambush on the roof after we finished this job. We'd moved all the safety equipment. I went up to the top of the roof to go and get it, and I slipped and I went head first and fell 20 foot through a skylight, and so fortunately I hit something on the way down, and it flipped me over, and I landed on my feet. And they, you know, they're in this factory. Wow, Spider-Man's turned up, like, you know what I mean? And I stood there like that, and I'm thinking I'm all right. Then some bloke said, "You all right?" And then this bloke behind me, and he's gone, "Oh my God, look at his arm!" And I broke my arm in 7 places, like, it was like a double banana. And so yeah, my arm were a mess. Next thing, I about passed out in the ambulance with morphine. 2 operations later, metal plate in my arm, and I'm thinking to myself, do you know what? I'm turned 40. Do I want to do this for the rest of my life? Do I want to be falling through roofs? Do I want to be freezing in the winter? So I've got a few mates who are electricians, and they said, look, it ain't too late, you take yourself college. And so while I was roofing, I took myself college 2 nights a week, and you became an electrician. So and that's what I do now. So and I love the job. It's the best move I ever made. The money's great. You know, you can earn good money at it, and you know, and that's what I'm doing now. And I'm now currently on the much hated HS2 project in Birmingham. But you know, it's a job, and the HS2 project's got a lot of positives that people don't think about, and it's quite a privilege to work on a job of that size. So, and that's what I'm doing now. So
And it's great you can retrain as well, because I think that's what we've seen different in our generation. Because you go back to, say, your dad's day, you were very much, he was a painter and decorator.
Yeah.
So that's what he was, you know, whereas these days you can do this, you can retrain, do something else, you know, opportunities are there if you want to grasp them.
yeah, they are, and I think maybe I get it a bit from my dad. I am a lot like my dad. My dad's got a bit of a nomadic, he likes seeing places, you know what I mean, same as me, and he look at the career change he made. He went from being a painter, decorator. He had a few people working for him, and to go in as a publican, like, you know what I mean, and that's what I did. I mean, it's not the only thing he's done on the side over the years. He was a market trader. You know, he used to have a few weeks off and go and do a bit of market up and down the country, and I went with him as well, and as a kid. But yeah, like I say, I've changed careers a few times, and I think there's maybe my last stop, maybe the last but one, I will see. But yeah, I think it takes a bit of bravery to change careers.
100%.
It does, you know what I mean? And not a lot of people do it, but, you know, I'd like to say to people, like, you know what I mean, get out there and do it, you know what I mean? It's not too late. So and the opportunities are there, isn't there? So.
And of course, the other thing that's gone alongside your life is Leicester City.
Yeah, massively. Yeah. Just trying to remember the year now. Was it 1982? Leicester. We played Burnley, and we needed a point to stay up. And my brother took me down. My brother were a fan of my oldest brother John, and he took me down. I think I'd have been like 9. And I'll never forget that day, you know what I mean? Biggest buzz in my life. I'd never even been near a stadium like that, you know what I mean? And you know, I don't even know what gates we had then. There were probably only 12,000 or something like that. Maybe a few more because it was like, you know, a big game. But yeah, and I'll never forget walking up them stairs in the double decker. It still, honestly, sends a shiver down my spine now thinking about it. And you know, it were a 0-0, like the best 0-0 I've ever seen. First game I've ever seen, 0-0, and we stayed up, you know what I mean? And that was it then. Over the next couple of years, John had taken me, and you know, sporadically we'd go to a game, and then it got more and more. And then I think when I was about 12, I went to see my first game here, my mate Smiggy, and we went down, and then we watched the first game on our own, and that was it. Then we were hooked, and every game we'd go, and you know, by then what you're talking like late 80s, just coming out of the Gordon Milne era, coming towards the. You know, we had the David Pleat, and it were hard times, you know what I mean? I mean, I look at the gates, I was looking the other week, and like, you know, looking at past matches, and like 8,000, like, you know what I mean? And it never seemed like 8,000. It were like, you were in the best place ever, you know what I mean? I've been to like these grounds in the Premier League now, like where we've been in there, and, you know, 60, 70,000 at Old Trafford and that. I don't think the atmosphere was better than when there were 8,000 at Leicester, you know what I mean? That's how it was, and, you know, and then, like I say, I was 16, started going to a couple of away games and that then, and you know, when we're 16 and you're seeing these lads in town, they're well dressed, and you're sort of like, hey up, who are these lads, like, you know what I mean? You hear what they are, or who they are, and you know, they're just a cool bunch of lads as far as we're concerned. Like, we were 16, and so you know, after the match we used to follow them up to the train station, and we knew there would be a mischief going on, but we were excited at that age, weren't it? And every week we just walk behind them, and we'd see a few tussles with these football fans, and it was exciting, do you know what I mean? And then I remember one year, I can't remember who we were playing one game, and it was all kicking off round us. Next thing I got a smack in the nose lock, and I sort of obviously smacked this lad back, and we had a bit of a tussle with this lad, and you know, all the police had come and split it all up, and then I remember a couple of the lads come over, these lads that we'd been following around, and you know, hey lads, good lads you are, you know, come and have a drink with us, and you know, and that's how I got in with it. You know, it ain't like it's not like getting in with football violence. It got in with the cool lads in town, you know, the boys in town, you know what I mean? And these were it weren't about the violence really, it was about just, you know, the dressing, how they dressed. And you know, the humour, the crack we on was just brilliant. And, that's it, brilliant camaraderie, and that's what that was it. Then I just got more and more friendly with these lads, and you know, on a best day, there were a couple of hundred of us, like, you know what I mean. And you get to know more and more people, and like I say, I ain't sitting here saying football violence is right or anything like that. It weren't all about that for me. It was like what I've just said. It were camaraderie, and then having the laugh. I weren't bothered if no went on like that, you know what I mean? But like I say, these lads, if they had a scrap, they had a scrap. It was just, at the end of the day, well, I look at it as two lads getting in the boxing ring, don't they, together, you know what I mean? And they let have a bit of steam, and they come out and they think, what a buzz that was. And, you know, these young lads have got a lot of testosterone to get rid of and that, you know what I mean? And, you know, them lads, they never hurt anyone, or they never had a fight with anyone that didn't want to fight with them, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I can see where that's, you know, it's not as bad as people think that, you know, I mean, so, but anyway, we used to have a great time with them lads, and that's how it happened over the years. So, I met a lot of good lads, like, you know what I mean, and over the years, it became more and more and more, you know what I mean? And then some lads would come and go, then a new bunch of lads had come, and you get to know more people. And I've always been one to make friends, you know what I mean? I met friends socially, I met friends at work, and, you know, you get some people on site that come in and they'll say, you know, I don't come work to make friends, or I don't go work to make friends, but if I met one, it's a bonus, you know what I mean? And
definitely.
I've always liked, I like nice people, you know what I mean? And so, we had that. But also at the same time, I used to have a local pub. We used to drink down the Addies, and there were a lot of us in there. We used to go away on holidays together, and, massive camaraderie there. So I had two sets of mates, and, knew a lot of people. And then, I used to go over to different pubs across Leicester to have a drink with the lads who were new from football. We played pool for the Addies. We used to go to different pubs all the time, meeting people all the time. And this is like the stuff that I do now that we'll talk about. How I just know a lot of people, you know what I mean? And that's what it was all about. I just prefer to make a friend than an enemy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's get on to the Christmas factor anyway, because we spoke on the phone, and the reason we wanted to get you in before Christmas is because you've just done some pretty amazing work and some pretty amazing fundraising. So blow your own trumpet a little bit.
All right. Well, that's one thing I keep drilling into everyone, because it really ain't about me, and that's why I wanted to just explain to you how I know a lot of people. It's I'm just lucky to know a lot of people, and that's why this is happening. So a lot of very good people, you know what I mean, really nice people that might have been a bit nuisances when they're younger, but they were young and they've grown up now, and like myself, you know what I mean, you just want to do good things and happy things. And so how this started, it was about what are we talking about? About 9 years ago. I've just been Lanzarote, and I've always been the world champion yo-yo dieter. I'll pile a bit of weight on, then I'll go down the gym for a bit, and I can get rid of it. I've lost 3 stone in 5 months before, and I look great, and then that's me anyway. So anyway, I've gone to Lanzarote for a couple of weeks, and I come back, fucking fat bastard, like, you know what I mean? So I've got to sort this out. So it was on a Tuesday night. Obviously, Facebook was in full flow then, you know what I mean? And, I've always liked Facebook. A lot of people slag it off, but if you use it for the right things, it could be a good thing, do you know what I mean? My godchildren, like my best mate lives in Australia, and he moved to Australia, and his kids are my godchildren. I've watched them grow up on Facebook, you know what I mean? There's a lot of good on Facebook, and if you just ignore the drama. So anyway, I'm sat there on a Tuesday night, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to put something on Facebook, a bit of a post. So what I've done a post on Facebook, and I've put, right, so put a bit of pudding on, feel like a pig, I'm going to lose a stone in a month, and if I don't lose it, I'm going to give 50 quid to Lauros. I put it on there basically so it was out there, so everyone could say, oh, you lost that stone, do you want me to get that 50 quid? It'll give me the impetus to do it. So anyway, I sat there, and let's see, the old bleeps are going off with their comments and reactions and that, and someone says, well, if you do it, I say, I'll give 20 quid to Lauros. And then someone else has gone, if you're serious, I'll give a tenner to Lauros if you do it. Anyway, cut a long story short, my phone's just gone mad all night. By the end of a Tuesday night, 11:30 on a Tuesday night, I've got £1,000 worth of pledges. And for Lauros, I mean, like I say, Lauros, I've seen a few people pass away in there, you know what I mean, over the years, and, they do a really good job, and it's sort of charity. I just thought, it'd be nice to raise a few quid for them. So, by the end of the night, there were £1,000 worth. So obviously, I've down the gym, I've got no choice now, have I? So I've beat that treadmill for the next couple of weeks, lost a stone in about 13 days, I think. So everyone's paid up through one of them just giving things, and bang, £1,000 for Lauros. And, I thought, that's just fantastic, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's, to get that just sitting there on a Tuesday night. So anyway, I can't remember what the next... This is me, you see. I always like something going on. I'm moan about being busy, but I'm always looking for something to take me time. You know what I mean? I've got a bit of an overactive brain, and I can't remember what the next one was. But over the next couple of years, I mean, there were a mate of mine who he got cancer, and Kev Bunce, God bless him, and he died eventually, like, unfortunately. But when he got cancer, a relative of his got in touch with me, and we spoke about it. I said, look, I'm going to raise some money. It's going to be an hard time, when he was having his treatment, and we were all hoping he got better. And so I went on Facebook, and I did a bit of an appeal without Kev knowing, which was hard work. Sort of had to every post hide it from him on Facebook, and the next thing we've got about £3,000, maybe £3,500, I can't remember, but. Hopefully it helped him, and that gave me a buzz. Everyone loved it. I'll tell you what, there was another one before. I sat there one day reading the paper, and Lee Rigby, God bless him, the soldier that got murdered. It was the 5th anniversary of his death. So I sat there reading the paper, and I just thought, this helped the heroes. I was thinking I could raise a few quid for them. Anyway, Kev at the time, this is before we were poorly, like, you know, great sense of humour, Kev, wasn't he? And him and Jono, another one of the lads, like Steve Jono from Up the Night, and they'd had a bit of a ding dong on Facebook. It weren't even serious really. They sort of Kev had got a bit mardy with him and deleted him off Facebook. It was something we laughed about. I mean, you know what I mean? We're blokes in the 40s at the time. You know, it was just like we're all laughing about it. There's a few giggles on Facebook, and he's deleted him, and everyone was saying, "Oh, I wonder if he's going to add him again," and all this, acting like kids, really, sort of taking the piss out of ourselves a bit. But so I just thought, you know, I'll do something with this. So I've put a thing on Facebook. Look, a serious post. It's the 5th anniversary of Lee Rigby's death. Decided I'd like to raise a few quid. If we can get enough people to persuade Kev and Jono to become Facebook friends again, well. You know, I think what I put was raise £500. That's what I put. Yeah, raise £500, and Kev and John have got to be friends again. That was it. So anyway, they started piling in again. Next thing, it got mad. So what I started doing is I try and make people feel special about themselves, which they deserve that because they're joining in. And I'd do posts where I'd put an icon with heroes, and every day I'd sit there at night, and whoever's donated that day, I'd put the post on, and you know, you've joined the roll call of heroes. And it just went mad, and I can't remember what we got. I know it were over £2,000. You know, and I made a joke of £500. So we did that. Then we had a lad that, you know, a good innocent lad, family man, driving instructor, went over to France for a football match and got attacked by these ultras, and they stamped on his leg and smashed his leg to bits. Like, and he's a driving instructor, and you know, he's going to need some help, isn't he? So I just don't like to see people suffering. Do you know what I mean? I've always had a bit of compassion for people. So so I got on there. I think we got him about £3,500. So all this was going on, you know, and I knew I had an audience, and I knew I had a lot of good people who I know and who would give when needed. And so anyway, I moved into an house. Me and my wife Sam moved into a new house 3.5 years ago, and the girl over the road, I won't say her name because there's a bit of politics at the hospital. You're not supposed to say which ward they're working and everything, but she's a good friend of ours now, and we hit it off with her straight away. And she works as a play specialist at the on the Children's Cancer Ward. So obviously we've been moved in a couple of weeks. We had a drink with her, and she was telling us all about the job that she does. You know, absolutely inspiring. You know what I mean? I hadn't even heard of a play specialist before. You know, she just explained how these kids need stimulating while they're in hospital. It's not just about the medical supplies. It's about they need stimulating, and yeah, it's fascinating to listen to her, you know, what they do. But then obviously the hard bit comes that you have to listen to, and you know, I was being the soppy one, you know what I mean? You know, I get a bit emotional when people are in pain or whatever, and you know, she started telling us about the dark side of it, what she has to see. You know, she didn't go into detail, but you know, I could just imagine. So straight away I said, I'm gonna, you know, what can I do to help you? And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, look, I've got a bit of an audience. I know a lot of good people, and I reckon we can raise you a few quid. And she says, well, how it works, because we've got like an Amazon wish list. So, because what we do need, like, you know, obviously for medical supplies, that's down to the government and everything, but you know, we can never get enough toys, sensory toys, so the, you know, kids in there long term, they're missing out on schools. Even supplies, you know, even stuff like, you know, for the parents having to stay over the night and stuff like, give them some shower gel and stuff like that. Stationery for the kids to work with, like, you know, so they can still do the schoolwork and stuff like that. And because, you know, there's an endless list of what we need. So we've got this Amazon wish list, because if you do raise some money, because I'll give you access to this Amazon wish list and you can spend it on there. And I just thought, that's fantastic. So don't get me wrong, I mean, these things like Just Giving and GoFundMe and all that, they do a good job, and I'm sure a lot of people have benefited from them, but they take quite a chunk out, you know what I mean? And I've never took a penny out of all this stuff of what I do, but I understand people are still going to have jobs, you know what I mean? And I do understand that, but I'm thinking personally, if I raise some money, I'd rather
the whole lot go.
Yeah. You know, if I raise £3,000 and 300 quid's coming out, you know, I've done all the work raising it. You know what I mean? All you've done is press the button and transfer the money over. You know what I mean? So basically, I just did it. I put it out there, and I said, look, I want to raise some money for this, sort of put a bit of a post on Facebook, let people know what I want to raise some money for. And how it started was I decided to do a raffle. So I don't know whether you've heard of these Ninja cooking products. Like, don't ever call them air fryers though, because they'll get the up. Ninjas are something special. So anyway, 3 years ago, we bought one of these Ninjas multi cookers. Like, it does everything. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, best thing I've ever bought in my life. Fantastic, changed my life. I've not used my oven since December 2020. And I were on Facebook all the time anyway with these Ninjas. Look, this is what I've cooked. These are amazing and all that. I think I created a bit of a buzz. I think a few people asked if I were working for them. Like, you know, I ended up getting people giving me a ring all the time. Like, what are them Ninjas like? Yeah, I told them. I said, honestly, best thing you'll ever buy. So, because people knew about me affection for these Ninjas, I thought, I woke up one Saturday morning and I looked online. There was a bit of a sale for these Ninjas, and he had a good sale, like 30% off or whatever. So. Some of them were 300 quid, it was like 190 quid or something like that. And I thought, do you know what? If I buy that and I do a raffle, I do a £5 a ticket, do it on the lottery bonus ball, 59 numbers, that's 295 quid. So that'll be 100 quid that I can put towards a charity fund. So I went on Facebook, I just bought it, and I went on Facebook, a bit of a risk, you know what I mean? I thought I might be lumbered with it. I said, you know, as I've spoke to you about, I want to raise some money for these kids to make the time better in hospital, and I'm going to do a raffle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and start a bit of a fund up, and this is the start of it. So I think within 20 minutes, 59.5 have come to my bank account, and bang, done. So that were easy. So I'll do another one. So went online, bought another one. I think that first day I ended up buying 3 and did 3 raffles. So 190 quid, so each time I'm getting like 105 quid or whatever. So I've raised like 315 quid. So anyway, put that to one side, give it a couple of weeks. Anyone fancy another one of these raffles? People were texting me, you're going to do another one of them raffles? And I did a couple more. I think ended up, I can't remember the first figure that I got, between 500 and a grand, probably a grand. But I'd got that figure there, so I got in touch with our neighbour, and can you give me access to this list? She's given me the list, and it was great. It was, you know, I had £1,000 spent, and this list is there, and they put what they need and how many they need, and I'm going bang, bang, bang. Spent a grand. Next thing you know, the hospital have it delivered, and so what I do then is the hospital will get in touch with me, and they'll send me a picture of when they've unwrapped all the gifts, all the donations, and they've got the kids to write me a card, and it was to Liggo and friends, which I love, you know what I mean, because it ain't about me. And I post that on Facebook, and it makes everyone see what they've done. Do you know what I mean? It gives everyone a sense of achievement that they've done that. You know what I mean? So, so that was the start of it. So a couple of months later, let's do it again. I think I did it a couple of times before Christmas 2021. You know, probably a grand here and a grand there. So anyway. I just thought to myself, I think we can do better than this. And, you know, these raffles, they went so quick. They were so popular. People were asking me all the time, when's the next one? When's the next one? I thought, I wonder if I can create a big raffle, do you know what I mean? And you know, just take this a step further. So I just sat there thinking, what can I do? And I thought, oh, I'm going to write to local Leicester businesses and ask for raffle prizes. Just dip my toe in the water, see how it goes. So I wrote to a few, and I started getting a few back. And as soon as I got 1 or 2 back, thought, you know, I got a lot of no's or a lot of non-replies, but I thought, yeah, well, certain people are saying yes, let's bang, 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 so let's get it out there. So I probably sent 1,000 emails out, like, you know what I mean, to local businesses. You know, maybe I got, I don't know, about an 8% success rate, you know what I mean? But, you know, that's 80, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean?
It's not a bad ratio, to be fair.
I think so. When you look at it like that, and you do the maths, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, 8% sounds small, doesn't it? But like when you're talking, I'm getting 80 people. Like, on top of that, I've got friends of mine got in touch and say, you know, donate this for a raffle. And people I know who got garages, you know what I mean? Well, I'll give you a free MOT, and it was stuff like that. And then the success rate started getting a bit better, and then I started getting a couple of big prizes in. I think the first year I ended up buying a Ninja myself because I thought, it needs big prizes, you know what I mean? So I got this Ninja. Then I actually got in touch with Shark Ninja, and who make these cooking appliances. And the girl said to me, she says, the woman that runs the charity, the donation side of the business, she said, she goes, well, I wish you had known about this before. She goes, we're at the end of a budget now. She goes, but I can send you a couple of bits. And she sent me a soup maker worth 150 quid and a food processor worth 190 quid. I thought, well, that'll do, you know what I mean? So I had them. And then I've got a mate that he lives in Hong Kong, and he runs the after-sales department of a Ferrari garage in Hong Kong. So you can imagine some of the wealthy clients he comes across, and he's quite good friends with the guy that owns the factory that makes these Beats headphones. So he rang me up. He says, "Oh, I've got something for your raffle." So what you got? He said, "I've got 8 sets of Beats headphones. These are worth between 250 and 300 quid each." Wow! So I've whacked them on the list. So what I do is go on Facebook and whack the list on the updated list, and it's getting bigger and bigger. Anyway. It's by the time I'm done, I were ready to go live, like 130 prizes I've got. You know what I mean? And I called it Liggo's Christmas Mega Raffle. Now, so I'll draw it towards Christmas, and then obviously I've got to start selling the tickets. I thought, what shall I sell them at? Is I usually do these tickets for £5. I'm thinking, look at this prize, the prize list. There's a lot of prize on there. I'm going to try and look at a tenner. You know what I mean? So. I sat on the balcony on holiday. I've gone because we're like a winter sun. I was in Tenerife in November, and I went live with the raffle. Bang! Next thing you know, we were with the missus and another couple, and I just said to them, I says, I think you just got to bear with me because this is going mad. And the tickets were coming, bang, 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 like left, right, and centre. People were coming in buying these tickets, and I think I ended up selling 430 tickets at a tenner. Which is 4,300 quid. Do you know what I mean? So just beyond my wildest dreams. I said, like, you never get a couple of grand, but yeah, 4,300 quid. So obviously I've come back, and me and my wife Sam, we got in the living room, and we told everyone that this is the raffle coming today live. Decorated the living room, put a few of the big prizes on some trestle tables, and we did it on Facebook Live, and I think there were about 500 people like tuned in, you know what I mean? And I still see people now that they'll say, we watched it all the way through, 1 hour and 28 minutes. And, I'll come out, because I like a bit of a sing-song, and I'm like taking the piss out of myself, so I'll come out and dressed as Santa, sang them a song, and, had a bit of a laugh with that. And that was the live draw, and then just the prizes out. So, yeah, it was just fantastic, that was. So, the year after, I thought I'll do it again next year, you know what I mean? Straight after the raffle, thanked everyone, make sure I thank everyone individually to, let them know how important they are. And I also said, let's try and make it bigger next year. Yeah. And 2022 came, and, all I can see in the papers and that were talk of recession and all this. And I'm thinking, maybe it's not a great time. You know what I mean? I don't know. And then I just decided I'm going to give it a break this year. I'd done a couple of little ones during the year. Went back to the ninja ones, and I said I'll just give it a bit of a break for this year. And then my pal Craig Glue, who works in Hong Kong, I've just mentioned, he got in touch. He said, "Oh, I've got some stuff for your raffle." I didn't have the heart to say I weren't doing it. He's obviously gone to the effort of doing it. And so what you got, mate? He said, I've got you 10 pairs of them Beats headphones. I mean, these are brand new Beats headphones, you know what I mean, top of the range. And, that's brilliant. And I just said, look, I'm going to have to tell you. I said, obviously you're over there, I ain't told you I'm not doing the raffle this year. And he says, well, have a think about what you can do with them. So I thought, do you know what, there's like between 2.5 and 3 grand worth of stuff there. I'll just raffle them, just on their own, do you know what I mean? So I did that. I don't know whether I might have got a ninja involved in it or something like that, and then I think a few little prizes, a few bottles of booze to top it up. But yeah, I just based it on them, and I did the tickets at a £5 this time. Obviously, the prizes weren't as big, and I think 2.5 grand. This is when I weren't thinking of doing anything. Next thing, there's another 2.5 grand. So next thing, I'm with the play specialist and sitting down with the Amazon wish list and spending 2.5 grand. Just it, yeah. Bang, that's gone to the hospital. Lovely card back from the kids thanking everyone. So yeah, I mean, the buzz it gives me is just unbelievable. It's fantastic. You know what I mean? I don't even get to meet these kids, but I get told firsthand I've got a close contact in there, and she tells me, what difference it makes to them. Like so, yeah, so anyway, coming up to this year, and you know, the start of the year, I think I'm going to try it again this year. And time's gone on, and I thought last time I did it, I started in October trying to canvassing for prizes. So I thought I'd start a month early, you know what I mean? And so anyway, I started contacting some businesses, and I weren't getting a lot of response, to be honest with you. And I'm thinking, this ain't looking good, you know what I mean? It were poor, and I don't cope well with disappointment, to be honest with you, and failure. So I get a bit fed up about it, and I'd got a few, you know what I mean, a few restaurants to come up with a couple of vouchers, and then a friend of mine, she got in touch and she said, Liggo, are you still looking for raffle prizes? I've got a few bits for you, and you know, just not massive prizes, but nice little prizes, you know what I mean? And I said, so I messaged her back and said, look, I said, yeah, that'd be fantastic. I said, I'm going to do it. I said, I'll be honest with you. I says, I've really struggled this year so far. I says, I'm getting a little bit despondent, but, you know, and she's gone, Liggo, she goes, you're a great bloke. You do what you do, and everyone loves what you do. And she goes, you've got an hell of a lot of friends. She goes, please don't give up. You know what I mean? You've got enough friends to help you. So I sort of sat there, and, you know, when you just get that moment, you think, yeah, you're right, yeah, we can do this. And I spent the whole Saturday bombing messages out, you know, being a bit cheeky to mates, you know what I mean, and maybe being a bit more pushy. And next thing you know, the prizes started coming in, and, you know, it's just steadily, but not massive prizes. And then old Gluey come over from Hong Kong, and we went out for a meal, and he says, you know, how's the raffle getting on? He says, I'm going to try and get you these earphones again, let's get you some, but he said, I can't guarantee. And I'm thinking, oh, I wish he could, because that really helped me out now. But, you know, I weren't going out with him for that. I'm going out with because he's my good mate, we're having a meal. And he says, well, how's it going on besides that? And I says, it's okay, you know what I mean? I said, it's getting better. I said, we're getting a few prizes in. I says, but what it's missing off the top of the list is a couple of chunky prizes, you know, like last time. I mean, last time, that first one that I did, I think there were 10 or 15 prizes worth, besides the earphones, worth over 200 quid, you know what I mean? So I said, that's what it's missing. I said, that oomph at the top, for people really like looking, you know, open their eyes up to it, and what a great raffle. And I said, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 200 quid out of my own pocket, and I'm going to buy one of these ninjas, you know what I mean? I said, I've decided. I says, you know, I'm not loaded, and I'm having to work hard at the minute, but it's important to me, you know what I mean? 200 quid, I mean, you can go away for the weekend and spend 200 quid, so, you know, hopefully it'll help. So anyway, I went to the toilet, and when we were having this meal, I come back, and there were a load of cash on the table. I said, what's that? And he says, well, if you're going to do it, I'm going to do it as well. So he's gone, I said, no, you ain't got to do it. I've sat there, I've got a bit of a tear in my eye, like, you know what I mean? Because it just blew me away, like, so.
Top man,
you know, what a bloke. So we got 400 quid then. So we went out and bought a couple of ninjas, looked on the, I think what I waited for the old Black Friday sale to come in, and I just put the money to one side, and we got them at good prices, you know what I mean? Like ones that would probably be 350 quid for 200, like, you know. So we got them, and then the next day I put a bit of a post on Facebook, picture of me and Gluey and the girls having a meal, and let them know what happened. We've put this in, you know what I mean? If anyone else can help, we're not asking for what we've done, but please let's take this further. And it went up a notch then, do you know what I mean? Like I say, I weren't putting 200 quid in to get any thanks to myself or like that, but I'm glad I did it, because it gave it a kick up the arse, and everyone's gone, you know, let's get involved in this. And the prize I'm getting next is just unbelievable. Then Gluey's got back in touch when he's got back to Hong Kong. I've got another 10 pairs of Beats headphones, and that's it. And it just went from there. And before you know it, by the end of October, I'd got 174 prizes. You know what I mean? All the way up from the, you know, £300 headphones and £300 ninjas, down to, you know, a bottle of Tia Maria or something like that, but everything's a prize, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's 174 quid. So I had the decision then what to sell the tickets at, and something just told me this year, don't go to a tenner, even though it had gone beyond my wildest dreams, and I'd outdone the first mega raffle with the prizes. I thought, just do them at a fiver, you know what I mean? Tenner's a lot in it. So I went for a fiver, and oh my God, I went live on the 1st of November with the prizes, with the tickets. So I sell them through November, and then the raffle's going to be in December. So, oh my God, that first weekend, I didn't have a minute to myself. I think we sold 520 tickets by the Monday.
Yeah.
So I'd done £5,000 by Monday dinner time. You know what I mean? Done more than we done on the last one in a month.
Yeah.
In 2.5 days. And then obviously it calmed down a bit, but people are still coming in, and every day I'm getting messages. In the end, I ended up selling 8,050 quid's worth. Well, we had a total of 8,050. I'll tell you, a bit of a chunk of that came from something else. But yeah, so anyway, we ended up selling I've got 8,050 quid at the end of it. So, and the prizes, people forget that people just look at how many tickets are sold. If you looked at the prizes, I went down it and did a rough estimate of what it will worth. There was over £8,000 worth of prizes there as well. I mean, where do you see a raffle like that? Usually you go to a raffle at a working men's club, don't you? You get a box of dairy milk and a bottle of tiger milk and Black Forest wine or whatever it is. And yeah, so the prizes were just massive. And but during this time I'm selling tickets, I've had a couple of people ring me and they said, you know, can we give a bit to this raffle? I want to help you buy a couple of prizes, you know. And people have rang me and gone, you know, here's 100 quid. And someone's rang it. Liggo, send us your address. I'm going to send you a 50 quid shopping voucher for your voucher. So people are actually putting their hands in their pockets. They're not just, you know, you've got these people that have got trades. Like a lad rang and said, you know, I run a carpet business. He says, I'll donate a bedroom carpet plus fitting. Another lad said, he's a plasterer, I'll plaster someone's bedroom. So he had all that. But then you had people putting their hands in the pockets as well. And one day, one lad got in touch on Facebook. He says, you know, he's an old family friend, and I ain't seen him for years. I thought he was living in Spain, but you know, we always have banter on Facebook and that. But I haven't seen him for years, and he says, "Oh, Liggo, can I give you a ring tomorrow? Send me your number." So yeah, of course you can. So I thought I'd buy some tickets, see if the raffle tickets are on sale yet. So he got in touch. He said, "Look, I want to help you out a bit with this raffle." He said, "I love what you do. I think it's amazing." You know, we're both Beaumont Leeds lads. You know what I mean? He went to the same school as us, and he says, I just want to give you a few quid like for a prize. He said, do whatever you want me to buy a prize, put cash prize, whatever you want. So anyway, the next day, Sam's rang me at work, and she says, I just had some fella come here. He says, yeah, I'm just dropping some money off for Liggo's raffle, and he's just counted out 500 quid at the doorstep, like, you know what I mean? Like 500 quid, and I'm like, that's just mad, isn't it? And then I got another mate of mine, and he's rang and he says, you know, I want to buy a few tickets. You know, he's got his own business and everything. He said, I want to buy a few tickets. I don't want to buy loads of tickets though, because I don't want to win everything. Do you know what I mean? He says, so can I buy a few tickets and then can I give you some money? You know, buy some prizes, do whatever you want with it. So yeah, of course you can. And next thing you know, he's got back with. He's had 5 tickets for him and his missus each, and then bought his staff a couple of tickets. I sold about 24 tickets, and then he says, "You're okay if I send you 400 quid as well?" And I'm like, "This is mad." You know what I mean? So, you know, for what I did with their money, I put the 400 quid into the total, and with the other lad, I put the 500 quid. I bought another prize out of it and put the change 330 into the raffle. So yeah, so. Next thing you know, like I say, we've got 8,050 quid, and I spoke to the Groovy Club, and because we thought to myself, this is a bit spectacular for my living room. Do you know what I mean? So I thought, wouldn't it be nice if we did it on a stage? You know what I mean? And you know, with the Facebook Live pointing on the stage, like, you know, make it a little bit spectacular, get the girls to decorate the stage a little bit. So they said, yeah, by all means. And then a couple of people, I told people I'll do it at the Groovy Club, and then a couple of people are getting in touch and said, you know, we'd like to come up, like, you know what I mean? Can we come up and have a drink while you watch the raffle? So yeah, of course you can. And I like encouraging people to come up as well, because, you know, they can see, they're there first hand, they can see what I do, you know what I mean? And see how it works and everything. You know, no one's ever said it to me, but with stuff like this, there's always someone going to say, "Oh, fix," and all that. You know what I mean? You get that, but also, you know, I invited people on stage to come and have a look at how I run it, and yeah, a good 50 odd turned up, and really good special friends as well turned up, and I saw it as like support, and it was good, and we did the raffle. I think, like I say, it lasted about an hour and a half again, live on Facebook, and. It was just great. The comments people got, I think it got watched about 1,000 times on this raffle, and it was just a massive success. And then the next day, I felt a bit deflated after the raffle. I thought, I was busy in it. I was stressed over it, but I was sort of looking forward to getting my life back. But then after it was done, I'm like, you know what I mean? What do I do with myself now? And then the next morning I woke up with the realisation I've got 174 prizes to dish out. And the next day I was on the laptop from 6:30 in the morning till 9:30 at night. I didn't move from that kitchen table. And then the next week, and I was going on holiday the week after. And so that was a tough week, the whole logistics of getting rid of the prizes. And I've still got a few now that I've got to dish out, So, but yeah, it's all been worth it. It's just been fantastic.
Deserve that holiday, definitely.
We've just been away, and then a couple of months ago we decided to go at Christmas. So we work hard, you know what I mean. Me and the missus both earn all right, you know what I mean. So we go to Tenerife quite a lot because it's just our happy place, you know what I mean. And I'm going on Christmas Eve. So by the time this comes out, I'll probably be watching it on the balcony with a bit of luck.
So what's the future got in hold for you then, Paul?
Right, so when I'm getting stressed over this, and when I'm snowed under with this raffle, I'm trying to juggle life as well, and trying to give the missus attention at the same time, and my family, and also not just that, I'm at work on site 10 hours a day. It takes me an hour to get there, an hour to get back. I'm out of the house 12 hours a day, and I'm like, I'm going to get a rest for a bit now, you know what I mean? And there's plenty of charities out there, other people can do it, and I look at it, and then as soon as it's done, I think I'll probably do it again next year. Do you know what I mean? So, and I think we will. I think what I'm going to do next year is, I don't know, I'll probably end up doing this as well, but the little raffles during the year. I think to myself, well, I should have just stopped them and just concentrate on the big one. But then I wake up on a Saturday morning. My missus likes to lie in bed till 10, 11 o'clock some Saturday mornings. I'm awake like a meerkat 6 o'clock, you know what I mean? Brain's ticking away, overactive brain. And so I sit there and I think, well, how much hassle is it to go on one of these ninja sites, or I might find something else to raffle. Just look for a bit of a bargain, something that's on sale well, buy it, and then do a £5 raffle at 59 numbers, and just make little bits through the year. This is the one I've said I'm going to stop, but whether I do or not, I don't know. But I definitely think we're going to do a mega raffle again next year. I mean, I've had people come on Facebook and say, let's get a few of us together to do it and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And maybe we can turn it into 20 grand. And the thing is, I had the opportunity to make this bigger as well. And at first, when I thought I might struggle a little bit, I was going to get in touch with someone knew someone at the Leicester Mercury, someone knew someone on Radio Leicester, and I was going to go down that route, but I didn't follow it up. I just stuck with people that I knew, and I'm glad I didn't now, because I'll be honest with you, if it went any bigger, I wouldn't be able to handle it. It's limit for me on my own to do that. So next year I think I will do it, and maybe I'll have to enlist a bit of help. I don't know, but we'll do it again next year. And
just to finish off, you've had some feedback, obviously, from the hospital staff, and you've been down there, I believe.
No, I've not been down the hospital. What we had, obviously, our neighbour, who's a play specialist, and she'd me contact with. So when we got all the money in the bank, we sat there and we went through everything that we'd got, and she got the Amazon wish list. It was quite busy, the wish list, to be honest with you. There were a lot that wanted, and you'd go on and there'd be, like certain toys that, they might want 6 of them and stuff like that. So it soon adds up, and like PlayStation games. That's what I did last year, you see, with that money from the earphones. When I did that, when I got in touch with them, then I says, what do you need? And they said, look, the toys are quite stocked up this year for the little ones. It's more like the 11 to 16-year-olds. They need stimulating, and we're in a day and age where they use PlayStations at home. Yeah. The need for reality, the need to things to take their mind off stuff. Right. So I bought 5 PS5s last year with that money, amongst a load of other toys. So we sat down this year and we just blitzed it, and then next thing you know, the hospital got in touch with me and they sent this first photo, and it's just phenomenal. It's amazing. You got the 4 place staff standing behind all these prizes, and I put it on Facebook and everyone's just like, that's wow. Awesome. You know what I mean? People that don't even comment are looking, and that's what I'm thinking. Like, hopefully it will encourage more people to put their hand in the pocket and get involved next year. So this picture was fantastic, and it went mad. And then a couple of days later, they've had the next batch, and they sent another picture. So I put another post on with all the pictures on what they've got, and they've still got things trickling in now. So, and the hospital has sent me a card, lovely card. Once again, thanking my wife, who's she's been like my warehouse lady at home, looking after all the prizes. I don't know what I'd have done without her. But thanking everyone that got involved, and I love that the hospital have done that, and that's what I want everyone to know. You know what I mean? Everyone's saying it's amazing what you do. They go, I couldn't do it. Literally couldn't do it if I didn't know so many good people.
Well, that's what I was going to say to finish off. What have you got to say to everybody who's helped you along the way?
Yeah, I keep thanking them, and I'm going to, when I go on holiday next week, when Sam's sunbathing, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to do some posts, and everyone who donated prizes, whether you're a business or whether you're just a friend, I'm going to do something special on Facebook for you. So say thank you. But yeah, I just want to thank them. Just thank you so much. It really does touch me how kind everyone is. I'm just a very, very, very lucky man. Do you know what I mean? To know so many amazing people, and I just thank them so much. And hopefully we can do something huge next year, something bigger.
Well, thanks very much for your time, Paul. It's been absolutely brilliant. And these podcasts, they can get a little bit heavy at times, and I just wanted something good for Christmas. And I think it's been an excellent sort of Christmas feature. So
yeah, thanks ever so much, Justin. Great to see you, pal. And you, mate.